How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Piz Podcast. It's your host Pittman, and today got another special guest because last week I had my cousin Josh. I got my special guest and a good childhood friend of mine. Means a lot to me. My mate Matt. Nice to have you on, Matt.
Matt, likewise, mate. I hope we don't confuse people by saying
Yeah,
Matt and
I
Matt
mean
all the
everyone
time.
calls you by my last name, Pitty or Pittman. So
Yeah, all right, you're Pittman, I'll be Matt then.
yeah,
That's fine.
but yeah,
Together we're Matt Pittman.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, you can still call me, Matt, obviously. But of course,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
get it confused because. But so yeah, I think we just had a brief talk there. But hopefully everything's been good. These past, I could imagine how many years. I think if I can remember, when I was in year 4, year 5, I think I remember you and your cousin used to pop in a few times, just to have food and stuff. I think I can still remember that.
Yeah. Well, it's probably been that long because I do remember picking you up a few times and going to Top Right and taking you to buy a few PS2 games.
Yeah, I still remember. I
So,
still
Matt,
remember. I still remember the game because
yeah,
I
that's
went
right.
with Nathan Miller. I think that time you bought me Splinter Cell, the
There we
first
go.
one. I don't know how I
There
still
we go.
remember. It's just stuck in my head, and yeah, I still remember what it was. And then
Yeah,
you took me to Top Ride a few times. Yeah, it was great. From
I remember
what
that.
you know
Yeah,
you done
it's
with
been
me
that
back
long.
then. Yeah, it's been that
It's been
long.
that long.
It's
That's right,
crazy.
man.
I just Yeah, because I know you've definitely done a lot, these past years and stuff. And what have I missed out on? What's been going on these past years, Matt?
Oh, look, to wrap it up in a nutshell, I guess, once I finished high school, because I think I probably was seeing you while I was, I don't know if it was in high school, I was doing an electrician apprenticeship, and
Hmm.
then I stopped that about 8 months in because I absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
And then I got into teaching martial arts, which I was doing for
Hmm.
about 5 years.
Yep.
And that grew into something pretty good.
Hmm.
But then as things happen, you move on. Things happen. So then I moved on to get into the fitness industry. So started managing gyms,
Yep. Yep.
and then I opened up my own personal training business.
Yep. I saw that on
And
Facebook. Yep.
yeah, and then that basically kept growing and growing. And then to the point where I started bringing on trainers underneath me as well. And then I started basically branching my brand off into other gyms and just scaling up. And now I'm at the point where now I basically teach other personal trainers how to run their own business
Yeah.
within a
That's
gym,
good.
whilst managing my own personal training business. So it's kind of two businesses in one, so to speak.
Mm.
But that's what I love doing, and
Yeah.
it gives me the freedom to do what I want to do and when I want to do it. But that's the business side of things, I guess. And then the family side of things, I'm now engaged.
Yep. Saw that. Yep.
Should have been
Congratulations
married.
again.
Thank you. Should have been married this September, but obviously coronavirus, it
Yeah.
likes to surprise people.
Hmm.
So I'd have to change the date for us until next September.
Yeah. I could
But,
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we bought a place together. We've got a little dog together who I'm actually just out walking now.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's probably about wraps up the highlights of it today. But I do recall obviously spending a bit of time with you and obviously trying to keep in touch with us. Life gets in the way, and
Yeah.
then
100%. Yeah.
there's very few people that I probably keep in touch with since high school. Even my one of my best friends, along with your brother Herbie at the time, Nareg. I only probably see him maybe once or twice a year, maybe.
Jeez. Yeah.
And that's not because we've had a falling out or anything. That's just what happens.
Yeah, it's just life,
And,
You got
yeah,
a lot of
that's
stuff
right.
you guys got to do and stuff. Yeah,
For
so
sure. But if
understandable.
I were to text him and say, hey, how's it going? Let's catch up. It's like we just saw each other yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be with friendships.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But and I'm assuming I'd love to know more about what's going on with you. You've inspired this whole podcast, which is great. So if you were to kind of wrap it up in a nutshell, what would you be saying for yourself?
I don't know. I mean, I would just say, just recently finished. Well, I mean, I could say it's recently, but it's can't count. Like 5, 6 months ago, I finished school. So, I mean, thankfully,
Yeah.
I got that over done with. But yeah, just slowly getting to adulthood. It's hasn't got me yet. I still feel like I should be at school tomorrow, which I shouldn't be. But
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. It's been good, you know. But it's been too quick. I can tell you that, Matt.
Is that so?
But yeah, just finishing classes and stuff, just getting everything prepared and stuff. But of course, this COVID thing is definitely postponing things, you know. But
Yeah, yeah.
nah, just been just enjoying life and trying to make the most of it, you know, because
Good man.
I've only started to wisen up since I hit year 12.
Yeah,
Not realizing, you know, um, with trying to spend more time with your friends and stuff, and just trying to enjoy year 12 because with the exams and stuff. But
for
yeah,
sure.
I just try to enjoy
And look,
life.
if I can say, going back to year 12, it was probably one of the it's definitely the highlights of my life, and it's highlights of many people's lives because you've got such a bond with these people who you've grown with, and that's the key thing. You grow with them through the years, and then you guys just leave each other's lives, and you get out of that routine of seeing each other 5 days a week,
Oh yeah,
and you lose that connection, and then you've got to make new ones, and it's sad, it's hard,
yeah,
but
exactly.
at the same time, you learn to grow with that, but I will say it is challenging, but at the same time, it's one of the best times of your life. And I'm glad that you're taking advantage of it because it sounds like you don't want to lose that.
Nah, definitely not.
Which, which if your mates are the same, you guys will keep in touch more so than I've done with my friends, I guess, from high school. But yeah, man, that's fantastic to hear. It's really good.
Yeah,
Really good.
but yeah, just trying to during these times, because I know eventually everyone has to do different things in life, jobs, holidays. I mean, not now, but eventually, I know I'm not expecting to keep always close contact with everyone, but you just try your best to kind of keep the ones that you can have a long lasting relationship, friendship
Yeah.
with, So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Even though I haven't seen Narek for a while, when my wedding comes, he'll still be getting an invite to my wedding. It's that kind of that still
yeah,
kind of
exactly,
friendship
yeah, exactly. It's
that
like
you
you haven't
have. That
forgot
it's
about them, yeah.
exactly right. Exactly right. But and what are you planning to do now that school's finished in terms of career? Have you looked into anything?
I wanted to do nursing. That shocks a few
Yeah.
people. I want to do nursing, but
Not
because I was
really, man.
expected
It's such a
to,
demand.
yeah, because I just wanted to, since I, lived with my grandparents for nearly whole of my life, I kind of got used to looking after, the elderly, and my grandfather used to always teach me how to respect the elderly. So it gets to the point I could probably take it as a career job because I really do want to look after, nursing homes and stuff, or even just a nurse, just, look after the kids and stuff. But I just want to help people out and stuff, and I can't see myself doing
Yeah.
plumbing
Good.
like my dad because I know my dad
Nah.
expects me to do
Nah.
that. But
Does he really?
yeah, because
Tell him no. Say
yeah,
Matt says no.
definitely not. No, my mum doesn't want me to be a plumber, and I know I'm a big fella, but I'm just a softie, so I can't, do that much. I'm more in the caring
Nah.
hospitality state, like my mum, because she's
Yeah.
looking
Good.
after the
Good.
brothers as well. So I'm kind of got my mum's side when it comes to that. But
Yeah.
nah, definitely wanted to do nursing and stuff. But I just thought I would work this whole year out, and then next year get TAFE and just slowly work my way up there, and just enjoy life during that. But COVID.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just is what it is. But yeah, that was my plan. But yeah, I'm ready, got everything set. But you never know. Maybe in a couple of years' time, I might want something else. But that's just what I'm looking forward to now. Um, yeah,
Cool.
pretty much. So another question I got for you, Matt, is how has COVID affected your workspace? During
My workspace.
yeah, just your work in
Oh,
general as
look,
well.
it's everything. Everything had to go online. Obviously,
Of course.
you have to adapt. That's my thing. And a lot of personal trainers didn't adapt. They just kind of sat at home and went, well, I've got no clients, no one to train. But I went online.
hmm
So it affected my workplace, obviously, because gyms got shut down, so the workplace was closed down. But it doesn't mean that I couldn't still service my clients. So I took things online, and I was working from home, so to speak, for 12 weeks. But still made things happen. Still tried to obviously service clients. And then after the 12 weeks, gyms opened back up, and people were coming back wanting a boom. So it's all back into action now.
That's good.
So
That's good.
I will say it was not a nice change. It was a change, but it was a little bit refreshing working from home. A bit of a nice change up. Yes, income's affected, but it's only for a short while.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah, it's not a permanent change.
Yeah, no, I'm not the type to kind of look at things and go, "Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible." It is terrible, but in the same respect, you've got to look at the bright side. I'm one for always saying just you've got to look at the bright side. Otherwise, there's so many reasons to get down or depressed or disappointed.
Yeah.
There's you can look at anything in life.
Yeah, it could definitely change your mood when it comes to how you approach your work as well. So you could have definitely changed your mind about what you were doing at that time, but you still stuck with it. So that's definitely good.
100%. I could have thrown in the towel and been like, "Oh, this isn't going to work. I'll go I'll do nothing." But you can't do that. And I'm passionate about what I do, so you find a way to make things happen.
Yeah. So, but how did you like it doing all the stuff online, like compared to other people that have to do TAFE courses, uni courses? Everyone's got to do everything online. How was it doing? Compared since your work is physical stuff as well. So.
It actually people loved it as much as they were loving the one-to-one in-person sessions because I was running 7 a.m. or 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. So I was running those sessions, and all of my clients could attend all of them. So I was running 10 sessions a week basically, and people could attend. They were 20-minute full body intense sessions, and people basically paid what was like a membership. Instead of paying for a one-to-one PC, they pay basically $50 for the week, and that gets them 10 sessions that they can do either Monday through to Friday, 7 a.m. or 6 p.m. or both. So people loved it, and they loved being involved in a group setting. And I was using Zoom, if you know what Zoom is, which is yes. Yep. So Zoom was the platform I used, and I was training people. Obviously I had to write up programs, which isn't hard to do. And then I got people in, and most of my clients came onto that. So I charged them a very small fee, but as a group, it obviously got me by through that time because I wasn't needing to pay rent. I wasn't driving my car, so I didn't need to pay for fuel. Mm-hmm. All my expenses were lowered, so I didn't really need to say, look, I need to make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So it dropped it down, but that was fine. As I said, that's what made it fine for me. And a lot of people were stressing, but I was saying, look, I'm actually not stressed because I've got a great loyal base of clients, and people love what I give them. So it was an easy transition, I will say that.
Yeah, that's definitely good because you didn't have to pay for gas, as you said, and stuff, and you can kind of tell people that you are still living a stable life compared to unfortunately other families or people at at our age that your age, sorry, that have to I'm not trying to make you sound old, sorry, but nah, but just anyone in general, that people that are struggling and stuff, but it's good.
Yeah.
On
fortunately,
your end.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, look, fortunately enough, there's me and my fiance. So she was still working. She's a school teacher.
Oh, okay.
So her work obviously was affected. She had to work from home some days as well. Mm-hmm. But she still had her normal pay coming in. And at the end of the day, Matt, it's kind of like the biggest thing for people is the income. That's what was affected. Yeah. People lost their jobs, or there was no work. Fortunately for me and for her, we were still able to keep afloat because of that. And you have savings between two people, and you know how to cut back. So if you're sensible and you know how to manage and budget things, there's no reason why you can't get through 12 weeks of a lower income. So you just make it happen.
Yeah, definitely good. Yeah, that's good that your fiance is also a school teacher, but I also could imagine, some teachers that can't really, that are used to, physical contact, one-on-one with the students, not from doing it at home at Zoom class. Does she like doing it at home, or?
No.
Not a big fan?
She wasn't a fan of it at all. No, not a fan at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
It was more work. She was on basically, not on call, but parents would send her emails, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. And because they didn't have that kind of normal school hours, they thought that was okay, which, people want to obviously be in contact with the teacher. It's odd times, but she far prefers going to school.
I could imagine all the stuff as well, because you can't really tell if that the students are actually doing the work, and it's more better one-on-one and stuff, because because students can definitely get around of not doing the actual work from a classroom. You can't really go one-on-one. So
exactly. And imagine, I guess, if you were back in year 12 and it's like year 12, you don't have any teachers, you just do the work from home and they'll send you the work. It's like, how can you keep yourself accountable, and how can you actually keep on track and keep a routine? That's what the teachers are there for. They're there to keep you accountable, keep you in routine, especially for her year, she teaches kindergarten. So in a way, it's keeping them disciplined and knowing what's right and wrong. So yeah, it was a challenge, but still overcame it. So
Yeah,
it
that's
was a
good.
month.
Yeah, that's very good. Very, very good for her. That.
And talking about school, actually, I'm just curious. Did you have any teachers that your brother had? Did anyone kind of look, oh, you're Herbie's brother, or no?
So I saw a few teach. So Mr. Farag is one of them.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Because I remember I saw a picture with you, him, and the rest of the boys. I think with Herbie.
Yeah,
I think it was
yeah,
a group one.
yeah,
Miss Matheson left the year when I graduated.
right.
Who else was there? Remember Miss Davies? Her name
Yeah,
was
yeah,
Miss Robinson. So
was
she
she
got
still
married.
there?
Yeah, she's still there. Yep, she was
Oh,
my
wow.
SLR teacher for
Yeah,
the
she's
last
still
2 years.
teaching sport. That's great.
Amazing teacher.
Yeah, yeah.
Who else? Miss Singleton.
Miss Singleton.
Remember Singleton? She's a maths teacher.
I can't remember. No.
But yeah, she remembers Herbie. I remember because I know I try to ask a few teachers. An Indonesian teacher, Miss Houlihan, I think.
Yes, she's lovely.
Yeah,
she's still there?
she's a sweetheart. I wish I had Indonesian, but she always,
Yeah.
because I got a lot of the teachers to sign, Herbie's U12 jersey, because I've always wanted to do that. Because I talked to Mr. Frog and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
To get all his records
She's
and stuff.
She's a very sweet teacher.
So he got me all the records to get all the teachers stuff
Oh yeah, did you get that? Did you?
Yeah, so I got like his U12 grades and stuff because it was an old system that they were working on back then. But I just got his last grades and stuff. But I remember.
So you got a hold of all that? Did you?
So I got a hold of his grades and some of the teachers that he had. I think there was a teacher named Mr. Black, if you remember, but he was gone.
Yes, so he was our PDHB teacher. So me, Herbie, I think Nari, and there's a picture of me, Herbie, him on our graduation day. And it's actually still in my parents' house. She's still got that up in the frame.
Oh, yeah, because I remember, yeah. I was wondering who that was.
Pretty cool picture.
Yeah, I was wondering
he
who
left,
that was.
I think he got into real estate. He left years later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was wondering who that was, because it sounded familiar, but at the same time, I tried to find out who it was.
Black. He was our PDHB teacher.
Okay. If I can remember, other teachers.
So he was our PDHP teacher.
Oh, PDHP teacher, yeah. Because remember, there was Mr. Wright, if you remember.
Mr. Joseph, is he still there?
Yep. He was definitely in that picture.
Yeah.
With you and Farag and Herbie and all that stuff in that picture. I can pull that up. Yeah. I remember Mr. Joseph. He's still there.
Teaching?
He still looks the same from. I don't know.
Oh, wow, okay.
If he hasn't aged. Like, I checked all the photos from when you and Herb were still at school, and from now, like he's still doing business, still doing Indonesian, and he's still the same bloke. Yeah, and I had him for Indonesian a few times, and he's a very good teacher.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember any other. We had the deputy principals, Mr. Griffiths and Mr. Reedon. If you.
Oh yeah. Mr. Reedon. I remember.
But they left around year 10. But they were really good deputy principals, and the new ones are alright. But definitely the OG old ones were definitely more impactful to us in our younger years.
Yeah. Of course.
I don't know. I can't remember. What teachers do you have that I might remember, Matt?
I had Mr. Houlihan, yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Joseph, he was my business teacher. Me and Herbie were in that class, and then. We didn't have Mr. Frog, but he was kind of, around in that area, I guess. Mr. Black, who was our PHP teacher. Maths, I don't think Herbie was in my class. I had a maths teacher called Mr. Simovich. Yeah. And who else did I have? I had a teacher, which Herbie was in class for English, Miss Shorter.
Miss Shorter. Miss Shorter.
Yeah, but I think she's gone because I heard she actually got pregnant and had a baby. But I don't know if she came back.
She sounds familiar. I think a few of my mates might know, but it sounds familiar.
She was definitely a passionate teacher about English. Definitely had a bit of her temper on her. The students.
Yeah, there was a couple of teachers like that. But yeah, I remember now Miss Penrose. If you remember Miss Penrose.
No, I can't say too.
Yeah, she knew Herbie as well. What else was there? Mr. McCartan. Do you remember his geography teacher? He's really tall.
I can't say I do. No.
Oh, okay. Because I thought he was in RSC for a bit. Yeah, he's a tall RSC.
Mr. Who? Say it again. Sorry.
Mr. McCartan. Mr. McCartan. He's like a tall bloke, and his geography very big character.
It's And he walks. Does he walk to school still? Does
Yeah, he
walk
still
to school
walks.
from
Yeah, he
us?
still walks to school
Yes,
to catch the
I
bus.
remember this.
Yeah.
Yes, we had Mr. We had him from time to time, but then we had Mr. What was? I remember his face. He was another geography teacher. Not Mr. I think it was Mr. Griffin or Mr. Griffin, something like that. I've forgotten, but I remember. And he always used to. He liked me and Herbie because we were respectful guys. A lot of people would obviously give teachers a lot of shit for reasons, but we liked our teachers. So I think he respected that we respected him, of course. But yeah, the top of my head, they're all the teachers I can remember.
Yeah, because he's always got that distinct look of him because he's always the tallest bloke. Looks like he should be playing basketball, and he always walks to school. He never drives a car.
That's right.
So yeah, you always just see him walk up
Gardens
Avenue
and whenever he walks. Yes. I definitely remember him. He won't remember me because he was always like a substitute at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely remember him for sure.
But yeah, there was a couple I knew there. I think there's also Miss Candelis. She's a maths teacher. She remembered Nathan Miller and Herbie when I mentioned it.
She's like short Greek.
Oh, she's a Greek maths teacher. She's relatively tall, and she has like I'm not sure what hair she had then, but like when I had her in year 7, year 8, she had like big puffy hair and stuff. But yeah, she was a Greek teacher. And
sounds so familiar.
She was a really lovely teacher, and she remembered Nathan Miller and all that stuff. So I was hoping if you probably maybe didn't have her, maybe.
I don't think because I remember the name. No, but I can't say I remember her face.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like me as well. You can't put the names to the faces. Yeah, I can't. I don't want to torture you over that because
no, but
it's been a long time. So, but
cool.
Yeah,
it feels like a whole nother life. That's for sure.
It's good. I'm trying to remember any like because most of the teachers that you and Herb had, definitely I had at year 7, year 8, and most of them either retired or moved to another school.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a science teacher that I had. What's her name?
Fitzgibbons.
Not Miss Fitzgibbons. There's Miss Cito, I think was one of them, but I think you remember Miss Cito?
Oh, vaguely. We had an arts teacher, which we both were like, oh, she's pretty hot. Miss Manzafero. Is she still there?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think a couple of the boys, yeah, she still hasn't, yeah, she was in one of the pictures as well. With you and Herb and stuff. Yeah, she's still there, bro. She's still the art teacher and stuff, but I don't think she does art teacher anymore. I think she does more of the school involvements, like if there's a fashion show, she'll take the pictures and stuff. But she's still there around the school. But she knew. Yeah, I remember I asked her about maybe in year 11. I think she was just doing ground duty. And I think I asked her about my brother because, I eventually look at some of the old photos that you and the boys having fun in RSC and stuff, and I try to spot out the teachers as well, see if they're still there.
Yeah.
But I remember she was there, and she ain't bad. So yeah.
Yeah, all the guys used to comment about her. So, it's funny that she's still there.
There's all the teachers that you guys had. It's like they haven't changed or anything. I could imagine Miss Matheson. She was alright, but again she had a bit of a temper. If you remember Matheson, but
I do. She was she had short blonde hair. Is that her?
Yep, short blonde hair. Very like a very strict manner, but she's like she was a really good teacher, but like she was pretty hard on the boys.
I do remember her. But not many of us liked her at that stage.
Yeah, but
then she mellowed out like a lot of the other teachers did when you get to year 12, and they're kind of like, this is the year that you guys grow up. We don't really care because this sucks now, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it made us go, oh, okay, this kind of changes the game here. I guess we better act like adults a bit more. And then the teachers just treat you differently. I remember going to maths class with Herbie, we'd have Mr. Simovich, and he'd be like, all right, you guys can either do work or not, it's up to you. We just sometimes used to sit down and talk about conspiracy theories with our teacher, and then do a bit of maths, and then the period was over. Like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
so
it's really cool. Yeah, I seem to know that once we hit year 12 or year 11, or mainly year 12, is that the teachers kind of go a bit uneasy on us. Like, okay, if you don't finish this in class, just take it home, or just it's your choice. So they kind of doesn't really force it on us. but they kind of expect us to
That's right.
do it as adults. So no,
Exactly.
that's what I loved about Year 12 is like we didn't feel like we were pressured to do the work in class, but we made sure we
No,
had
not
to
at
do
all.
it. But
That's right.
but
There was
same.
definitely no pressure. That's
Oh
what you
yeah, but
considered
definitely
is
with
spot
the
on.
exams and stuff, like, of course the HSC was a scary thing, but ended up once we did it, it's just like our trials and stuff, and or previous exams under exam
Yeah.
conditions that were even longer. But nah, I enjoyed the exams as much as they were long and stuff. But nah, just Year 12 in general, like it was a scary thought because like okay, like because I remember what my friend told me, we saw the Year 12s when we were in Year 7 and they were graduating, and he said
Yeah.
we'll be up there in no time. And then once I thought about it, slowly Year 8, Year 9, Year 10, Year 11, Year 12, I'm already there. I'm ready, getting my certificate and everything.
And now that's right. Now you finished.
Yeah, it's a scary thought because I still feel like we're on a public holiday and we should be back to school tomorrow. My
Yeah.
boys are still, they still haven't changed, and that's for the good thing, but nah, it still scares me how fast all these years went.
Well,
Definitely.
well, I can tell you now. I'm 29 in 3 weeks, basically. So I'll be 30. I'll be
Goodness.
30 in another year, and I think to myself, I still remember when I was 21, and not to sound. And I feel like when I say I feel like I'm one of those old people, like, oh, I remember my time. But it seriously is like that, and
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like so long ago. But in a way, it does. It feels like, Jesus, that felt like it was another life. Like I feel like I don't
100%.
see these people anymore, and I feel like I've had so much happen in between that so much has changed, and it's gonna happen to you. It happens to everybody, of course.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
next, it's gonna feel like in no time, coronavirus will be like, oh shit, remember that time when the world stopped and
Oh yeah,
we were in
definitely.
lockdown,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be another story to tell. But it's so interesting how just time doesn't really, it just doesn't stop, and then by the time you know it, you've lost track of what the hell's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I
So
just seeing you and all Herb's friends and stuff, just seeing them, everyone, a couple of them got kids now.
yeah, exactly
It's
right.
just unbelievable just to see all these grow and stuff, and I feel
Yeah.
like it's shocking, compared to
It is. And in a way, I'm not going to say it's scary, but I'm going to use the word, it's not overwhelming. I'm trying to find the right word here. You just don't expect it. You
Yeah.
just think, oh, that's ages away from me. But really,
Yeah, exactly. That exactly how I felt in Year 7. I felt like, oh, it's gonna be slow as hell, just every day. But now, like, especially like it's hard to know what day it is sometimes when you're,
that's right.
during these times. But at the same time, I'm
Well,
appreciative that it's gone fast. But at the same time,
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly right.
I'm happy where I am now. So
That's right. I mean, being in lockdown for 12 weeks, I felt like during the time, I'm like, oh, this feels like it's gone forever. I'm just kind of feel like I'm wasting time because I'm not doing what I normally would be doing in my routine. But then now we're in July, we're almost in August, and I'm
Yep.
like, lockdown was March, April, May, June, and now we're almost in August. And by the time I know it, I'll be going, shit, it's nearly Christmas.
exactly, because I think everyone like me thought like shit, 12 weeks of lockdown, I would have like, I felt like no way people can get through this without going crazy. But
That's
I
right.
found out, if you do things like, if I kept contact with my mates and just kept on socializing and trying to get out, as much as possible, just
Yeah.
just go for a jog or just listen to music and stuff and just walk around, just try to keep myself busy. And the more I did that, and
That's
look
right.
at now, I'm like, wait, lockdown already, kind of finished.
That's
So
right.
at the same time, it's scary because I never expected this amount of speed when it comes to just life in general, because it shocked me because I thought primary school
Exactly.
was slow as hell, but
For sure.
it's
And
crazy.
even thinking back to primary school, I actually had a little moment. I was reminiscing on my last days in primary school, and I remember that. I remember maybe you had the same experience as me when the last day of primary school, and you're kind of saying bye to all your friends, and everyone in my kids, I thought that was so tough. Just the students, everyone was crying because it was like the last day,
Yeah,
and they played like
100%.
this music which is just going, oh man, it's like it's hitting my soul, and then you just start crying.
Oh yeah, because
Look around,
definitely
they're
with
sitting there
me.
hugging each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like, and I still remember that. It's one of these memories that just stuck with me. And then the same for high school as well. I mean, I remember our Year 12 formal. and I just remember certain parts of it, and it was just one of those moments of like, wow, this is. You just don't think about it in the moment that it just doesn't last. It doesn't occur to you.
Yeah.
But now that we've had these moments of lockdown and coronavirus,
Kind of made you think, reminisce.
yeah, well, for me personally, it makes me kind of stop and go, oh, well, things just don't last. And as dark or as depressing as it is, it's actually just the reality. And
yeah, it's just how life is and stuff. And yeah, definitely,
well, for sure.
I think COVID, I mean, it could help me at the same time, but it kind of gave me a space to kind of think about what I want to do in my life and also kind of reminisce. Because, reminiscing, it's like people can say, sometimes it could be bad reminiscing because, instead of, thinking about the, old memories, why don't you make new memories? But at the same time, for me, I love, looking back and just see, because I still feel like, because when I was in high school, I still felt like, okay, I just left primary school, because I just still remember, as you just talked about farewell, it's just, I was thinking like, okay, I'm not gonna cry, like, oh, it's fine, I'll be seeing my boys, I'll be playing games with them online, I'll still be talking to them, and as soon as like the music started hitting, and people saying farewell and stuff, you start crying like a little girl, and I'm proud to say that I probably cried a lot from when you finish school. I mean, high school, I didn't really cry in farewell, but I was upset because it's kind of like a job, like a routine, waking up every morning, seeing people in roll call. There's always a few people that you're not really friends with, but you always respect each other, and there's always that few people that you talk to in your roll call class that you always every morning, and it's always those few people you remember and stuff, and I just can't believe it that it's already over, and I'm glad I still got a lot of my mates still staying in contact, because there's a lot of them either working or either doing their own thing, which is good for them, because I'm not gonna get pissy about them not wanting to talk stuff, but that's just life, and they're just preoccupied with other things, and I couldn't ask for more for them to be happy and stuff, because we get busy on with our lives, so yeah.
100%, man. Well said.
But it's definitely went quick. It 100%. I can't disagree. But how was Rise Secondary College back then, Matt? When you were at school, how was it, like the experience of being in that school?
Look, that school at that time that we were there, I think we were probably one of the last few years or few grades that experienced it as what it was, so to speak, which prior to Right Secondary was called Malvina.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there. I was like year 7, and it had turned into Right Secondary like a year or two before I got into year 7, but it still had the Malvina kind of vibe, atmosphere, which was the, it's the druggo school, it's the school where you get into fights, and it was known as one of those kind of, I won't say drop kick schools, but if you go there, it's kind of like, you go in there and you better be able to survive, sort of thing at that time. So there's always, there were so many times when there was, punch-ons or kids bringing knives to school or selling drugs, and you just felt like you were somewhat, at that time, well, me personally, felt like you were, in the ghetto, so to speak, going to school. It's like, shit, what's going to happen today? You got to look over your shoulders and go, who's behind me, sort of thing. But it taught me a lot. And it definitely, I will say that high school shapes you, but you've really got to be conscious of how it shapes you. So a lot of the people that I knew when I was, quite a few people actually, I went from primary school to high school and went from the same primary school to the same high school, but they changed massively into, drug dealers, or they just got into the bats, and I was like, what's going on here? And even then, one of my best friends in primary school, we both went to high school together. We split as even from the same friend group. Then he got into drugs, and then he and I even got into punch-ons. And he had these Tongan friends. He was a Fijian guy, and we were best mates in primary school. But then in high school, I feel like he had kind of changed, not in a positive way. And then I guess it just angered me, and then we got into punch-ons, and it just happened. So, but then you make new friends, and
definitely.
So it was. I'm not sure what your experience was with it. Maybe you could shine some light. Maybe it's the same. I don't know. But back then, it was definitely a kind of hard knocks kind of school. But then when we got to year 11, year 12, it started to mellow out. Yeah. You had a lot more selected kids coming in. Yeah. A lot more of the I guess you can say the kids that wanted to be there, as opposed to kids that are just there and coming and going. We had so many kids that would come and go from other schools because they'd been expelled or suspended or whatever it was, and they came to us and they got the same thing happening. Where now, from what I know, it's more of a, I wouldn't say prestige school, but you've got a lot more people that are there because they want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought I think how I saw, it looks like you guys had definitely enjoyed it, enjoyed each other in year 11, year 12. I saw the pictures and stuff. I felt like, did it feel like you guys did you segregate in different groups and stuff? Because I felt like you guys were more I would say with your friends, it felt a bit like a family. Because I felt like with Herbie's friends, you guys were like a family.
Yeah,
with your groups and stuff. And
people generally were in their own groups. Me, Herbie, and Nareg, I guess you could say, were our own little group in a way. We were kind of the group that kind of wandered in between other groups. And then in year 12, Herbie started doing dancing more. So he kind of was in that other group there. And we kind of started to spread out a bit more. But then in the same respect, we didn't, I guess, just go with one group of friends or just go, we're gonna hang out with these guys for the rest of high school. We just changed things up really. But yeah, I mean, look, it did feel like a family, which is why it's hard to leave, especially in 12. But in the same respect, I guess you're prepared for that because you're used to what happened in primary school. You leave that, then you just know, it's going to happen again. So you're more prepared for it.
Yeah.
But you're a lot more mature when we know how to keep in touch. Social media is a big thing. I've still got so many people on social media whom I was in high school with, which I'm now just connecting with again. I'm like, oh, hey. And then I see pictures of them with their baby. I'm like, oh my God, you're having a kid. And
definitely shocks.
It's amazing stuff. Yeah. It's amazing stuff to see.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful thing as well, because with me in RSC, it was good, but there's always, I don't know, because I felt like back then it was more like a family with you guys and your groups, but compared to us now, it's like everyone's always saying this and stuff, and I still have my own group and stuff, and there's always a lot of good blokes and a lot of good chicks out there in my school, but there's definitely a few, of course you always have someone that talks shit against someone, and it's always this drama and stuff. It's just unnecessary and stuff, and
really?
It just drags on to year 12 and stuff. And I remember there was a group of chicks and stuff, complaining about who says this and who says that, and I said to myself, I don't know why these chicks are complaining to each other and just saying all this shit. Just have fun and just enjoy year 12, because at the end of the day you're gonna forget about this, and you're probably gonna forget about each other, and probably won't see each other for probably never, maybe.
That's right.
It was definitely a good school, and but I kind of wish it was a bit like how you guys were rolling it back then. I don't want to make you sound old again, Matt. I'm just gonna put you there. But
second time you're doing that to me, Matt. What's going on?
But I just felt like Herbie definitely had a lot of people that loved him, and you and the boys definitely treated them like family, and we still feel like that today with our friends, but I don't think it was the exact same as much as I just feel like it just feels a bit too. I don't know how to explain it. How it is compared to his back to the old, after Malvina. But
Well, you got to remember as well. I guess it was the times weren't different times. We still had. Well, no, actually, I don't think I had Facebook back then.
Plus the social media as well. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Social media. It's all changed in a lot of ways. But saying that, as I said, our school was kind of. You get in a group. It didn't feel like jail, but it had the kind of sense where you had to, connect with people, and they were your family, so to speak, because they would look after you because you would look after them. And that's the vibe that we had, or that the school was at the moment. And so I guess that's why it made it feel like that family dynamic and that unity, and things that happened where it would bring us closer together. So I'm not sure if things have changed because the world's becoming more politically correct, where you can't do certain things, you can't say certain things. It's but that's the stuff that brought us together. That's the stuff that kept us feeling strong as friends and as a group, as a family unit in that way.
Yeah, definitely. I just felt like that a lot of people from different countries start come in to RSC. And that's what I loved about RSC, the multicultural and just like, I got friends from Zimbabwe, just the
Yeah.
best characters ever and stuff. You always remember those people that are from different countries and stuff. They're always just a bunch of characters, but
Hmm.
definitely when you mentioned the social media, I think it definitely played a big role on how people kind of um on people's perspectives on others and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. I feel like social media is also plays a big role in how people treat each other. But I've definitely seen a lot of people kind of transition from primary school to high school. A couple of the boys I did know in Glazer Public School that used to go to in primary school, a couple of them turned to drugs.
There you
Went
go.
to
That's
drugs.
right.
Some of them that went to Hunters Hill did drugs. A
That's
couple of
right.
them,
Hunters Hill was the other school that you're like, oh, it
Mm.
didn't feel. I mean, I didn't go to Hunters Hill, so I can't say, but it didn't feel as bad as Ride Section. It felt like Ride Section and Hunters Hill were like on the same wavelength, but Hunters Hill was more of the upper class, so to speak.
Mhm.
It was like the upper class drop kicks,
Yep.
where we were just the drop kicks. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely as well. But just a lot of people change from that, and sometimes some of the people that you've known in primary school kind of act like they don't know you anymore, and it's
Yeah.
like we had this love in primary school, we were young and stuff, and eventually when we mature we start to forget about that and stuff. But it was a good experience in RSC, but yeah, I feel like
Sure.
I always look at the old pictures of you and Herb and stuff. I just felt like you guys definitely enjoyed each other. Your guys' camps, photos, you boys
Yeah,
going
exactly.
out on your formals and your socials and stuff. So
And look, as I said, back then, restrictions to do things were, I don't know, it wasn't as much as it is now. Like, there were times when Herbie would sleep over at my place and we were probably like, I think we were probably 14, 15 years old. It would have been when I was 14 because I wasn't with my first girlfriend at the time. This was when I was kind of having a girlfriend. And I remember he stayed over and we then snuck out of my parents' house, got on our bikes at like 2 a.m. in the morning and rode our bikes from my parents' place, which was in Ryde, all the way to Hunters Hill to meet up with these two girls because Herbie liked one of them, or he was in a relationship with one of them, and her friend liked me, so I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So we would sneak out and ride our bikes all the way in the middle of the night, and basically we did it twice, and we rode to Hunters Hill, met up with these girls, and then we'd go into their like backyard of their house because she didn't tell her parents or whatever, and we were just like hooking up for like an hour or two, and then we'd ride our bikes home. It was that sort of stuff where if you saw teenage kids running at 2 a.m. in the morning, you'd be like, oh, what's this? Like, that's suspicious. Or the parents would know because they've got, their phone or it's tracking or something like that.
I definitely feel like there's definitely more. It was less, I wouldn't say less strict back then, but it was more easy to get away with compared to now. I feel like a lot of precautions with the kids, make sure that you watch their every step and stuff. But
exactly right.
But that's just
100%.
part of the experience of you boys, having fun at your guys' age and stuff.
That's
and,
it. Like we weren't doing drugs. We never got into that.
Yeah,
But we were.
course, yeah.
But we were doing things which we thought was like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this, and this is fun.
Yeah.
But and it was
part of
cool.
the experience. Yeah, definitely.
That's right. So for me and Herbie, like he and I became good friends when I think it was probably year 8, or into year 7, early year 8, and then we were friends, all the way until the end. And then it was like, it's just amazing how you share those memories. And I guess without him, I would have potentially turned out to be a different person because we kind of kept each other in line, and we both kind of came from the same upbringing in terms of morals and respect for people. So if I had a friend who was into drugs, I can't say I would have gotten into drugs because it's just not me. But is it more likely that I could have gotten into trouble because this person was getting in trouble? More than likely.
Yeah.
So it definitely shapes you who you become friends with at an early age.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, also bring into that as well as like what memories do you have, just in high school, or any like things that kind of pop up in your brain, like any stories or memories about, either it's, with Herbie or any of your mates, or just, in school at that time, if you got any. I don't want to put you on the spot, but
No. I
if
mean,
any,
that one definitely sticks out. The time that twice that he stayed over and and then we snuck out and rode our bikes behind it still. That was definitely a fun memory. Definitely times playing soccer. He and I were in the same soccer team along with, I don't know if you remember James Selk,
Yep.
tall guy, yeah.
Yep.
So him, me, Herbie, another guy named Dylan, and
Yep. Yep.
yeah, so there's 4 of us, and we would get the bus from Top Ride and then go to Chatswood and try to pick up girls inside shops. And we'd actually go and try to like pretend that we were buying something for like a friend who's a girl, and then try to talk to chicks. So we would try to like wingman each other, and we were probably like 15 or 16 at the time. But that was definitely a memory. That was the case. And Herbie would always try to act like the cool, confident one. He had his hat on, his little bandana, and he'd have like a headphone in one ear, and then kind of just looking around, Mr. Full Dude sort of thing. And we were like the awkward guys not knowing what to say to girls. So it was definitely funny. All the soccer memories, of course.
Is that when you boys playing Ravens, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that for me, that was once again another kind of family feeling. Like your dad used to pick me up and take me and Herbie to training, and go all the way, like go to Meadowbank, and we used to do training on Tuesday night.
Do your parents still live in that old place you used to live with them in?
They're still there. They're still there.
Yeah, because I always remember every time when my dad, drives past there, it's it's Matt's house. Yeah, we always say that with every time we go past. But yeah, it's good that you remember some experiences. Well, whenever it pops up in your head, experiences with Herbie, because I never knew much what he did, back then since I was so young. So it's good, because what I'm thinking about is eventually getting a couple of his friends on every once in a while and just see any stories and stuff and. What have they got about my brother and stuff, but that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, man. He was always. I remember me, him, Dylan, and it must have been James. We went to see Step Up, like that Step Up movie when it first came out.
The dance?
Yeah. And Herbie was already into the dancing scene at that time because he was doing the R&B dance and stuff. And I remember us seeing it, and Herbie was like full on dancing like that sort of thing. Yeah. And I remember we went to the bathroom after that, and Herbie just started dancing, and then Dylan was like, "Oh, Herbie, can you teach me how to do that? That's so cool." When you see a movie and you're like, "Oh, I want to be like that guy." And we're young and we're naive, and Herbie's like that guy sort of thing in the movie, dancing like that. And I just remember we were all like, "Oh, we've got to learn how to dance now." And I was like, "Oh man, I can't do that shit. I can't do it." So it didn't happen.
Yeah, because I remember he always was into dancing and stuff, and I remember he always used to use the school gym, for dancing and stuff. I remember I still remember it when I took a break from, I think it was primary school, I think year 2 or something like that. It was when you guys were graduating, and he did that final graduation dance that he did. That always still pops in my mind, and how how talented he was when it comes to dancing and stuff, and a lot of events that he probably did when it comes to doing dancing and stuff. And I just can imagine if he was alive today, he would just be
well, I remember him saying he wanted to join the army. That was what he wanted to do after high school. But then it's like, who knows? Like, he was so passionate about dancing that who knows if he wouldn't have gotten into the army, and then he would have started trying to do something else. Who knows?
It was just the what if. You never know. He wanted a lot of opportunities he could have got that time. So you just never know. You never know with anyone at that age what they wanted to do. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I thought my whole life I was going to teach martial arts. I just thought, this is what I'm going to do as a career. And then and things change, and you don't expect it sometimes, and it shocks your system because you're like, oh. I wasn't expecting this to happen, or how it's changed. So it's like, how interesting.
Yeah, I just could imagine that day. How did you know about the news and stuff? I mean, we'd have to talk about it if you don't want to, but
no, I'm open to talk about it. Absolutely.
At that day, I think I forgot what day it was, but how did you know? We'll find out. I mean, obviously, you probably definitely got told, or if my mum called you or something like that.
No, so your grandfather actually came to. So I was an electrician at the time. I remember, and Herbie and I hadn't spoken for a while. I feel like we didn't have a fight, but we feel like we had like a disagreement or something, and we hadn't talked for probably a few months, I think. No, not a few months, but like 2 or 3 months sort of thing. And the last memory I have of seeing him was he was riding his bike down, I think it's Pitty Road, where all the bushes are, that sort of that road there, going down towards Buffalo Road. I remember driving. I was an apprentice electrician, and I was just driving to and from job sort of thing. And I remember seeing him there, and then literally probably a week or two later, I got home from work that afternoon, and then your grandfather came to the door, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, Matt, to kind of come on now, but I've just got some news. Herbie's went to hospital, and then he had a cough, and then he passed away." And I was like, it didn't register to me. I'm like, "What do you mean he passed away? I don't know what you mean." And he's like, "Yeah, so I just want to come over and let you know." And I just if you can tell the rest of his friends. And I was like, and then he left, and I was like, "What the hell? What does that mean?" And it just didn't click to me. And then I just took a moment, and then I called Narek, and then I went to his house, and then told him, and then after I told him, I think we drove to my cousin Anthony's house, and then told him, and he was a bit of a mess. He was another story, and then after that we left, and then after that, I won't say it's a bit of a blur, but it kind of is, because I remember I came over to your place to see your parents, and your dad was quite emotional. I'd never experienced that being, and I'd known him for years prior to that, of course, but I'd never experienced it emotional.
Yeah, I remember it was definitely 100% bad that day.
Yeah, and then, and I was just like, oh, we just didn't know how to take it, I guess. And then the funeral, we just didn't have answers of what happened or how it happened. And your mum, I remember her being so strong. And then obviously the day of the wake, not his funeral, the wake. And, I went to the wake, and that was very confronting, because there's my best friend just lying there, and he's cold and looks like him, but just not alive. It felt so weird and just not real. And I remember Dylan was there, James was there, and Dylan was crying, James was crying. But for some reason, I just couldn't cry. I just couldn't cry, and I don't even know why. And then on the day of the funeral, I remember I said I was on doing a eulogy, and we had quite a few of our teachers and people from the year below us, year 11 from the year below us, the leadership people that were the captain and the prefects or whatever from the year below us, that knew Herbie. And I remember writing his eulogy, and it just felt so warming in a way. And then I remember putting that note or that eulogy in the coffin with him, and then obviously got buried with him. And and then I remember after that, at the what do you call it? After the funeral, what it's called, it's not the wake, where you guys kind of get together and share memories, have food.
Yeah, I think it's like a service. I think it was at the Ride Sporties Club. I think
the North.
Yeah.
I think it was North Ride RSC.
I think it was I think it was either North Ride or Ride, but yeah, it was definitely the service.
And I remember that, and all the teachers were there, and we were just talking, and everyone was kind of coming towards me and Narek, I think, and just kind of being like, you guys were spent some time with him, and I'm so sorry. And I just remember just feeling like, I don't know, I just, not that I couldn't feel, but just felt like I was being strong for everybody else at that time. And I didn't really break down. I remember seeing your mum, and she was obviously not in a good place for obvious reasons. And it was just one of those moments where I was just like, I'm just doing what I can and just getting through it. And then, it was just one of those times that you just don't know how to handle it. You're not trained in any way to handle this. You're not taught how to handle it. You don't learn this in school. You don't learn this anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a defining time in my life. And like I said, like I'm open to talking about it and reminiscing on it because I don't look at it and think, oh, it was terrible. Yes, I miss him. Yes, I wish he was around. But things are the way things are, and as you're doing now, you know, he's living on in your memories, my memories, and that's what's important. That's what keeps,
exactly,
in my mind, alive, and keeps you going. It's like, yeah, he was loved by so many people, but you can't go, okay, well, that's that, and then you just don't think about it anymore, or just talk about it because to me that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's like saying you've got to keep it alive, and you know, remember those times. That's so
yeah,
cool.
exactly. Yeah, just to remember and stuff, and that because it was definitely bad the first couple of years and stuff. Of course, I still, you know, he's always on my mind, you know, every day and stuff. But
well, how did you? I mean, how did you handle everything at that time?
You know,
how old were you? How old were you?
So, how old was I at that time?
Yeah.
I was really young, so I was around 8, and I was in, I think, year 3, if I can remember, because I think once he was 18, I was 8, and I think it just went up from there. You know, I was 9, he was 19, but nah, it was terrible because, you know, when I was young, I never knew how to kind of process that because, you know, I was young.
That's right.
And I kind of felt, you know, obviously I was just, you know, crying endlessly and just get upset and stuff, you know. It just felt so unreal at that age, if I can remember, in that state of mind I was in. And I just didn't know how to take it in. And eventually when I got older and older, I kind of, you know, understand, you know, if, you know, there's no point of crying and stuff. Of course, he would want me to be happy, you know, the parents and stuff. But I just tried to, you know, just think of the good times and try not to think it in a bad way, as you just said. That's how I think about it now, because, you know, when I, you know, once you do reminisce, you kind of, you know, obviously shed a tear of, you know, you wish you were here at certain points. But as I grow now, I kind of look at it as a blessing, you know, that that I've kind of grown up, and what made me who I am today because of it. And just the thought of him, you know, being here, you know, of course, always, you know, lingers in my mind. And, you know, Mum doesn't really mention it that much, and I, you know, obviously don't want to make her upset, obviously. And I'm glad that she, you know, of course, you know, a mother and that's lost her son, you know, you can't expect her to move on straight away, but, you know, Mum's doing good. You don't see her getting, you know, that upset, as, you know, she was, you know, really bad. It affected her really bad back then. And now we just all grown up and stuff, and, you know, I think I'm the one that's still kind of in the family that kind of reminisces about it, kind of gets a little bit emotional about it, because, you know, I didn't.
He's your older brother.
Yeah, he's my older brother, and he's one of my idols, so I looked up to him. So.
And so he should be, and that's what you want to be doing. You're not doing anything wrong by you know bringing this up and looking back on, because
you know,
it's your right, it's your stuff to look back on. For sure.
100%, yeah, exactly. Because, you know, of course, after 10 years, you expect to you know, 100%, you know, move on and stuff. And
no, but I mean, right now is, you know, the age you're on now is the age that, like, he was 19. And it's like, so when you're 20 years old, you will now be older than he ever was. So that's to me, that's, in a way, it's going to be harder than it was.
Yeah,
you know,
because
the past years.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely weigh on that. It's like, it's like back then, it's like I'm kind of okay. It's like I'm too young. I'm not really understanding the process of death.
Yeah.
But now, as I wisened up and been a mature man now, it's kind of settling in, and at a case, like, you know, this did happen in my time brief period, and you know, it's just, I see it as a definitely blessing, you know, that I've definitely grown up from this and stuff. But I feel like definitely when I'm older now, I do see it, like, it's starting to, like, settle in it as much, you know. And I do think about him, you know, nearly every day, and you know, so I wish I had more, you know, more time, obviously. But, you know, once you're young, you're dumb. You kind of don't know. You can't really. You don't really realize until. You know, until it's gone. But
exactly, and you're not expected to realize that. And some people takes them a lot longer. You know, there's some people at 30s, 40s, sometimes 50s that still don't wisen up in that way. So it's good that you're at least doing it. You're at such a young age where you're trying to capture these moments.
I just think for me to move on, like, I still don't know 100% like how he kind of, he passed away. I still don't know the full details, and I kind of don't want to, kind of, usher my mum to,
No.
oh, mum, can I please get all these certificates and stuff and all this. I don't want to
Yeah.
do that. I don't want to put her in a state of mind where I feel like she has to go out of her way to kind of open up old wounds and stuff. But
yeah. But at the same time, it's I understand what you're saying, and I know why you want to protect your mum in that way.
yeah,
But in the same regard, I mean, this is stuff that you'll talk to your kids about. When you have kids, you have boys, they're brothers. It's like, this is the relationship I have with my brother. I knew him. So you want to know him as much as you can, so you can at least be able to relate to that, because he's your brother, and he always will be your brother. And it's not something that you should try to forget or try to move on from, because for me, that's not healthy. It's like, you need to honor that. Otherwise, he didn't live. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Yeah.
You want to go through that. And I totally respect and understand why you would want to come through that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've got to live it as well in that way.
Because definitely I want to kind of use that in a therapeutic way, like, that's why I brought you on and stuff. I kind of want to kind of come back to you and stuff, because I remember you looked after me when my brother, passed away and stuff, and I appreciate you for that. And I never, as I was young, I never, kind of appreciated, what you've done for me. And even coming on to now, because I expected, you guys to, move on and stuff, and that's good. I could be more proud about, you guys' life choices. You're got a fiance now, and I couldn't be more happy for you. And I never had the chance to say thank you.
Yeah,
for everything.
Man. Of course. But likewise, it goes both ways. You've given me the gift of revisiting these times, and you're the closest person I have to him in that way.
Yeah.
So it's like, we both share that connection, so there's no reason why you should forget about it or sweep it under the rug and be like, we can't talk about that.
Yeah.
But no, it's a beautiful thing to remember. Why not remember it?
Yeah, that's what I want to do with these podcasts, because I never thought I thought I would just kind of mess around with the podcast and stuff, but I started to realize I can definitely do more me as a person. I can bring back the memories, get in contact with Herbs and your old friends and stuff from RSC, and just kind of talk to them about the past, and kind of brings me at ease, because I didn't really know my brother as much as I don't know what he did every day, because I was young. I didn't really kind of pay a notice to that.
Exactly.
But that's why I'm grateful to have a platform, and just even just simply just call you up and just see how everything's going, and for you to talk to me about how my brother was, because I never knew what it was like outside of the house, except for he was a joyful kid and stuff. I know he was still the same, but that's why I'm grateful to do these,
For sure, man, and you're doing the right thing to keep that alive. And I remember, and I won't mention the names. I mean, obviously for privacy reasons, I would give shit who does this and this. I don't know, but I'm not in contact with this girl. So this is the first girl that Herbie ever had a crush on, a relationship with. And even her and I were great friends. But as you grow up, you drift apart. But once Herbie, when he passed away, it was not long after that her younger brother passed away from asthma. Had an asthma attack and passed. And he was the age difference between them, I think, was a little bit less than you and Herbie. So it was kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. It's like
younger.
You lost your older brother, but she lost her younger brother. And she didn't come. Well, no, she was at Herbie's funeral, but apparently she lost her shit at me after his funeral, because she thought I saw her and I didn't say hi, but I actually don't even recall seeing her there. It was one of those things where you see so many people, you just don't recognize their faces, I guess. So then after that, she was like, "Don't talk to me, whatever." And she went through a bit of a tough time. And then her brother passed away, and I was like, "Oh shit." So what I'm saying is, then I think she went through a bit of a rough patch, as you would expect. But being that older sibling, it's the same sort of thing, man. It's like, whether you're the younger one or the older one, you've still got that connection. And I'm sure she now looks back and probably goes, I've got these memories with my younger brother, as you've got memories with your older brother that you want to tap into and share, and just to keep them alive.
Yeah, because I think I might know who you're talking to. I'm obviously not gonna say her name, but I think I did talk to. I'm not gonna say her name either. I'll tell you after. But I did talk to one of the girls that did, I think, did have a relationship with Herb or was in love with him and stuff. And
Interesting. I want to hear about this later.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I forgot what her name was. I still see her on Facebook every time because I've added her. But I think she has kids now and a husband.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay. I don't
and
think it's the same girl. I'm pretty sure it won't be. Well, it might be. I don't know.
But
Maybe.
no, it's just good for me to know about this and just try to get the most information as possible, and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that he did have relationship and stuff because I never knew because my mum never knew he had a relationship. He thought.
Oh no, he had. From my memory, he had that first girl. But it wasn't. I don't think it was really young, so it wasn't a sexual relationship. It was like a crush, and they kiss and hook up, that sort of thing. But he did have. I mean, not to disclose too much, but I did know that he had a sexual relationship with another girl. I don't know if it's the same girl that you're thinking of. I don't know, but she was very much in love with him. I think he broke up with her. I can't remember why. I think it got too much. Like she got too attached. I can't remember, but I know they were together for a good month or something. So he did experience that in his life. Like he did have an intimate sexual relationship. So those two, I'm pretty sure he had a couple of hookups from time to time with others, but I don't exactly know who. But I do know two specifically that he did have a lot of love for at certain parts of his life.
Yeah. Yeah, because I never knew until now, obviously.
Yeah,
but it's good that they did have relationships like that. Because as I said, her mum never knew he had even a girlfriend. Well, she probably did, but at the same time, she just thought that Herbie didn't have.
I think he would have been a bit private of it.
Oh yeah, of course.
I remember he wasn't very much. He loves your mum, but I know he wasn't one to kind of tell her everything about everything. Because I know she was very much your mum was very, how can I put it? She's very cute, your mum. She's very innocent in that way. And it's like, I don't think he wanted to tell her the naughty details of life in that way.
Oh yeah, of course. Because because I think Herbie was very private when it comes to his relationships, and of course you don't want to tell your mum every single bloody detail, but definitely. But I'll tell you after because I remember. There was a couple of people I did talk to. It was at this point where I did talk to a lot of people that did know Herbie from years younger. The people that were in year 12 when I was in year 7 were in year 7 at that time where you guys graduated, so they knew Herbie and they did hear about the news. 'Cause I think of course the whole school kind of was put on notice about Herb's death. But
you gotta tell me when we get up here. You gotta tell me who these people are.
Yeah, no worries. No, 100%. Because I can, because you've been to his school. Of course, I'm gonna tell you. But of course, I'm not gonna put him on blast and stuff. Just for privacy reasons, obviously. But that was a good talk on that one, 100%. But thanks for telling me about his stories though. It's a good experience for me to kind of digest, because I need to know more about my brother, because as I said, I feel like at sometimes it kind of felt like maybe I was too, as much as the bad says, like if I'm too connected, like as I thought, like I always looked up to my brother, but I felt like if I keep on mourning and keep on like kind of going to the past, if it's not healthy or anything like that. But
oh really, man? I mean, I look at it in the way of, if you're young and like your father passes away, and it's like you don't really remember your father, you start to miss a part of your life that you should have had. And it's the same as you with your brother. It's like you didn't get those opportunities to spend time with your brother talking about girls, and like you were too young in that way. But now it's like, you want to remember him and know what he was like, know what it would have been like, and that's totally fine. And I guess that's where I come in the way that able to share those memories, share that with you. But it's completely what I would say normal to be going through and necessary. But you would be able to share it.
I got 2 more questions left, and then I'll let you run for your life.
Go for it.
But so first question is for me, like since I'm going, transition from school kid, to adulthood. What advice you got for me? I mean, for others as well. I mean, what advice do you have for me going into adulthood, and what should I know? You know,
My advice to you going into adulthood,
yeah,
I would say, I feel like I'm kind of trying to give you advice of what I would have given my younger self, sort of thing. I would definitely say listen to people that you respect. So listen to your parents, listen to people that you respect and admire, but make your own decisions, make your own choices. Don't just go, oh,
yeah,
this person said I should do this, I'll do it. No, listen to them, take it in, but make your own choices, because that's what's going to define you as a leader in yourself. Leaders listen to others, and then they basically decide out of all the decisions of all the choices they've been doing what the best option is. So definitely learn how to make your own choices. But in the same respect, I would say don't wait for opportunities. Just do things on a daily basis. Make things happen. And I don't mean that in terms of grind in that way. Work. It's kind of like if you want something, just make it happen. Just do it.
yeah. Just don't try and wait for it to come to you.
No, exactly.
Mm.
Don't sit around and be like, oh, one day I'll go to Tate, or one day I'll buy a company. It's like, well, what's stopping you from starting that now? Like, why can't you start that now? And there's really no reason why. And that's what I've learned from my own personal experience. There's no reason why you can't make it happen. Like,
Yeah,
everybody has the same 24 hours. Everybody has the same sunrise and the same sunset. But what we do in between is completely different. That's the difference there. So I would say definitely get on your own path and make it happen how you want it to be.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. For the last question, I would like to ask is you know, I know I don't know how many relationships you've had, but would you give me any advice on getting into a relationship? Like how do you know if they're the one and stuff? And like I've been in only one relationship, but that's your cliche 12 sort of relationships one. But
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just say at this point now, what
yeah.
advice would you give me when it
Oh,
comes to
gosh.
relationships?
Oh, so many little bits and pieces I can give you, but but I've been in what I would classify. So my fiance is my third, I guess, serious relationship.
Hmm.
My first one, I was with her for 8 years, when I was 16, for just under 8 years. And we actually were engaged for a time, and then when we broke up, obviously that was it.
Hmm.
Nothing ever happened, like no wedding plans, just we were engaged. I was 21 when I proposed to her. I was very young and at the time desperate. Like, things happened in our relationship. I felt like I needed to propose to her to kind of prove to her that I'm mature, all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
So I would definitely say to you, you know that it's right when, not that it's when it's easy, but you know that it's right when you can manage each other at your worst, at her worst and at your worst.
Hmm.
You can both not tolerate it, but manage it. By manage it, I
Hmm.
mean you know how to get through those hard times. And if you can't get through the hard times, then it's not going to last. That's the biggest. So if you both can't handle each other's worst moments, then you just don't. You're not going to be able to ride it through to kind of enjoy the good moments with each other.
Yep.
So that's definitely one big thing. Another thing I would say is definitely have to know your worth, man. I mean, with males or females, and it can happen from the male's point of view or the female's point of view. At any point in time, one of you can take advantage of the other person in terms of, if you're living together or if you're going out, and if you're kind of, paying for the meal all the time or paying for the night out, and she doesn't care, or vice versa. If she's always paying and you're like, oh, yeah, whatever. It's like you need to appreciate the person for who they are, what they're doing, why they're doing it. And that comes down to you, I guess, knowing your worth and knowing this is what I can offer you, this is what I want to give you. And it's not an exchange of, what can you give me? It's just a thing of going, can you accept me for who I am and what I am? And if not, and if it's a question of, and this, I guess, comes back to my first relationship, I always felt like, and even my second relationship, actually, I felt like I had to be something different, not me. I had to be something else or someone else, or kind of do something else to keep things going, where the woman I'm with now just makes me feel like it's 100% safe and comfortable to be myself, and and I don't have to change. And things, whenever we, get fired up with each other, it's easy to overcome. We have our moments where we're like, she pisses me off, I piss her off. So then, it takes an hour or two for us to come back together, and that's it. And that's how it should be. And I didn't realize after 10 years of the wrong relationship how things should be. And it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be something where you're questioning yourself all the time. So if you're doing that, you're not in the right relationship at all.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. And just gotta finish it off. And so yeah, I've already said thank you enough, Matt. From all these years, I'm glad to finally contact you and to see you how you've grown. Thank God for Facebook to keep up with you and your fiance and stuff. And I didn't want to ask you and say girlfriend because I didn't want to get it because if you that's your fiance, I didn't want to say girlfriend or wife by accident. So I asked you. Right. But no, I'm glad that you're happy. And once this is all COVID stuff is definitely breezed over, we should definitely catch up and go out for food or anything exactly. But no, I just couldn't thank you enough for being there for me when Herbie passed away and all the friends and stuff. But you and Nared and everything, I couldn't thank you enough for, because I never my young self never appreciated it, and to actually thank you one-on-one and say thank you for looking after me when I was a kid. And
I will say you don't have to feel. I look very thankful. I'm very very grateful for you saying that, but at the same time it's what I wanted and want to give you, and it's not something which I guess I look to have return or anything. It's just more so that's our connection, and I'm very happy that you're keeping that alive and keeping things going for his memory, because it's a beautiful thing. So more to come, man. More to come.
Yeah, 100%.
This is you're growing into a man. You already are.
Yep.
And it's just like so you'll keep growing, and myself and others will always be there for you, and your family, your mum, your dad, share all these experiences and what's happening as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Matt, for that, and thank you for everyone for watching. That was Pitty's podcast, and see you guys in the next episode.